Hey, bookkeepers, it's already February. I can't believe it either. And February is a really short month, obviously, so it's tight and a lot happens in February. January was cramped because we had all the W-2s and 1099s and all kinds of inventory and all kinds of things going on. But now we're in February and this is crunch time because you are sending your packets to your CPAs, right? They've got a limited amount of time to process a whole lot of corporate returns in particular. We're going to focus on corporate returns in February because that deadline for the CPAs is March 15th, not April 15th. And obviously you should know that already. You've got some straggler clients that are still trying to send you your stuff and your calendar becomes very chaotic. So remember that your clients' last minute emergencies don't have to become your emergencies. Okay. They really don't. So our February checklist. Here it is. Number one, clear up CPA questions really, really quickly. You are either going to be your CPA's best kept secret or the bane of their existence. And I suggest you try to become the former, which is their best kept secret. So as they send their questions, address them quickly. Okay. So you want to also create a simple tracker of some sort. You want to track what client, the doneness of their year-end process, whether or not you've sent the packet to the CPAs, and then whether or not there are questions that have to be responded to, further documentation that needs to be provided. Now, you should have provided your CPAs with a very comprehensive packet, and so there should be very limited questions. And again, this is like anything else where the preliminary work is the most powerful, okay? What you do in advance to ensure that you don't have a lot of CPA questions is going to be showing its success here, okay? If you did a good job at that, you're going to get a lot less questions. So when your CPAs do reach out, you want to update immediately because you need to resend any changes, all right? So now in all seriousness, and I want to promote Maven's app. It has not hit yet. Maybe it has by the time you see this video, in which case I would love you to look for it. But this is a full practice management app, and this is exactly why this is my 45th year end, by the way, but this is exactly why I designed it, because I needed a solution, okay? Because year end is just something that can get really out of your control. Number two is handling your late data and your stragglers, okay? You're going to get people that have said, oh, yes, oh, you needed this 2 months ago. Let me send it to you today. And that happens all the time, okay? So it is your responsibility to try and train your clients as to how urgently you need things. And then as to what the ramifications will be if they don't get the information to you on time. And what that main ramification usually is extension. And you're going to find that as you gain more clients, you're going to have a lot of clients that are very fussy about whether or not they get on an extension, because a lot of them don't want to be on extension. And for those clients, then they need to understand the impact of their own schedule and their own timing, because if they're not cooperating with what your requests are, then they're going to end up on extension anyway, and it's just that simple, okay? So now remember, your CPA, they're trying to get this tax return done for March 15th, not April 15th, which means you need your client packet out the door no later than March 5th, okay? Ever. So that is your hard deadline. So really, you want to try and get everything out the door by the end of February. February is our do or die, get the packet out the door month. So you've got to continue to prioritize corporations over your sole props and your single member LLCs, because those are treated like sole props with the IRS. All right. Lastly, number three, we want to review the accounts receivable and accounts payable with fresh eyes. Now that the year is done, okay, you might have accounts receivable that have never been collected. Now, for the sake of ease and expediency here, we're dealing with cash basis clients. Okay. So the majority of smaller businesses today, you know, your plumbers, your electricians, your service-based industries are going to be cash basis. Retailers, not so much maybe because of the inventory aspect, but let's deal with cash basis clients here. You can just void the invoice, but before you do, print it out and save it. The reason you're not writing it off is that you never actually collected the money, on the books at least. If they are accrual, then on the books you've collected the money, therefore there is something to write off. But in a cash basis, you're not reporting that income until the money hits the bank anyway. So if the client never paid, the money never hit the bank, there's nothing to write off. But that does not prevent you from collections, okay? You can still make collection attempts on your own. You can still refer to a collection agency, or there's my personal favorite, because I used to do this for clients all the time, and I have a 100% perfect collection record, is small claims court. If it's under $5,000, do small claims. Your client did the work in good faith. They never got paid. And by the way, those are advisory services that you can help your client with. But that's another chapter. All right. Your accounts payable, stale dated bills that are sitting in your aging that you never intend to pay or that just never got paid. You have a system. If you had not paid your electric bill from June, you'd have been shut off by now. If you didn't pay your rent, your phone, your any utility, any subscription, if those kind of items were for some reason unpaid, you'd know about it. So chances are that bill is either a duplicate, or maybe it was paid from a different source, so it's not showing up where you expect it, but you can usually feel pretty safe to eliminate those, okay? And lastly, you want to fix and get documents out right away. So if there's any corrections to be made, maybe it's a procedural correction. So go to the standard operating procedure and correct it and mark all of those issues in your client notes, because this is going to happen again. And you're thinking, oh my God, this was such a thing. I'll remember this. Well, you won't remember it because a year is going to go by and so many things are going to happen. You have no idea of knowing what place you're going to be in next year. So suffice it to say, you will not remember if you don't take very accurate notes, okay? So here's your call to action is remembering that your CPA packets need to be out the door before the 5th of March, okay? Hardcore deadline. So be sure to like and subscribe here. We'll be coming out with more detail in the coming weeks about Maven's app. Really excited, and we'll be letting you know about that as soon as we can.